Welcome to the Career Prepper session on networking and branding matters now more than ever. I'm Jay Skipworth and I'll be your host for this session. We're going to talk about first, what is networking? You've probably heard that mentioned in a lot of different formats, and it's generally based around a piece of advice or an idiom that says networking's who you know. It's actually a little bit more than that. The clinical definition, if you will, is that networking is a process that fosters an exchange of information or ideas among individuals or groups that share a common interest. And that is true. That's absolutely what networking is. And I want you to really concentrate on the fact that it's about exchanging information and having common interest. Networking is not just who you know. Networking is who you know who is engaging with you and that you're engaging with on a regular basis to achieve whatever your goals are. In your case, it's to find that internship, to get into that grad school program, or to find that job. Networking is about building relationships, and you build relationships through mutually beneficial communication and through mutually beneficial exchange of ideas. So for instance, you'll hear me give examples a little bit later about how to pitch yourself to a potential contact. And one of the ways you can do that specifically is to think, is there something I can offer this person that would be of use to them? And it can be as general as that sometimes, just being open to, is there anything I can help you with? That's part of building a mutually beneficial relationship. The point is that it's a very active process. The idea of networking is who you know is a rather passive one. And that's not really how networking works to its fullest extent. Networking is an active process for you. So it's connecting with people with ideas and opportunities for you. Notice, it's not asking people for jobs. It's asking people for opportunities or to have conversations about opportunities. Again, activity always beats inactivity, so you have to be actively networking as long as you're interested and engaged in that process. Remember, the focus is on quality connections, not quantity. It doesn't matter how many numbers of people you connect to or the number of likes you can get on a post. It's more about, are they the right kinds of connections that you need to achieve your goal? And remember, be useful as well as asking other people to be useful for you. And be visible. Active networking involves being very open and easy to find for other people who might be recruiting you or in your area, and also making it easy for people to find you if you meet them in offline conversations or through different media besides something like LinkedIn or a networking session. Networking is the most powerful marketing tactic to accelerate and sustain success that you have as a job seeker. So, basic example here. If you go to a job board, and I'm going to exclude HireNiner from this, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but if you go to a basic job board like LinkedIn or Indeed or Glassdoor or what have you, and you apply for a job without any other connection to it other than you feel like you're a good candidate, you've written a decent resume and cover letter, you apply, you have anywhere from a 3 to a 10% effective chance of that making its way through the chain and maybe getting an interview. And that's not terrible, but if you start thinking about those numbers, that would mean you'd have to put out 100 resumes to maybe get 3 or 10 callbacks. That's a lot of work, and that can eat up a lot of time. However, when you go to apply for a position that you've been able to network to, so in other words, you're not only applying to it, but you've had a conversation with a recruiter or you've connected to somebody at the company to let them know, hey, I'm going to be applying for this position. Is there anything you can tell me a little bit more about it? Can I have a conversation with you about this opportunity? So again, you're not asking for the job or an interview, you're asking to have a conversation about the opportunity. Once you apply after having a networking conversation, you increase your chances to 30 to 60%, depending on how effectively you network, I should say. So you see, that's over 10 and sometimes 6 times is more likely that you'll get an interview out of that. Why is that? Well, companies like to hire people they feel like they have some connection to or that they know, and a lot happens through connections and referrals and word of mouth. That's why your references are so important. Now, I told you there was an example or an exception to the job boards rule in HireNiner and how that can help you. Because that is something curated by the University Career Center specifically for UNC Charlotte students and alums, the chances of recruiters just blindly posting out there to everyone are low because they have to go through a rather extensive process to get and be a part of that job board. So when you see jobs posted on HireNiner, you have a leg up. However, that's not a license to be lazy or inactive, let's say, and not still network through the contacts that you meet out in the world of work and even virtually. Where can you network? Well, obviously career fairs are great, and virtual career fairs are becoming more and more popular now, particularly in the time when we're at the stay-at-home orders or maybe working remotely. And you're going to see more and more of those going forward. While that's not the traditional way that we do career fairs, it's something you're going to see the Career Center involved in as well, and I highly recommend you attend, if for nothing more than just to brush up on your online networking skills. Specific networking events or mock interview sessions, information sessions, career meetups like this one that you're here. Obviously, we're not hiring necessarily, but we have a number of employers who lead our meetup sessions. I think that's a fantastic way for you to network and meet people. Even if they're not there to specifically talk about job opportunities, it allows you to put a face with a name and someone you can follow up with later. Conferences, community events, speaker series, any kind of online gatherings or meetups that you can go to. In reality, every opportunity is available for you to network, and they're all available virtually. Everything listed there is something that is not only taking place or could take place virtually, or the things that are taking place virtually. So make sure you're an active networker online. It's a full-time job sometimes to look for a job, and now that you're doing a lot of it online, just build it into your daily schedule. You can use social media really effectively in networking. In the past, we probably would have recommended using Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as maybe ways to follow trends or follow a company and see what they're interested in, but they're also really good ways to interact with companies. Just be sure that you're always portraying a professional image. And of course, LinkedIn is your online experience portal and a way for you to really put out the best of what you're interested in, to show yourself as a visible, interested candidate, and a way for you to connect with a lot of different opportunities. So maintain your professional contacts, ask to be introduced if you don't know someone, or introduce yourself if you meet them again virtually through another event. Follow up by sending a LinkedIn connection, and in that little section where you can add a note, just let them know I really enjoyed your session today on the career meetup topic. Would like to talk with you a little bit further about some opportunities with your organization. Look forward to connecting to you. Remember to recommend and endorse people. You can do that with your cohort and your classmates now. Recommending and endorsing is something LinkedIn has tutorials on how to utilize best. And the Career Center can also help you with gaining endorsements and making endorsements. And then also find, post, and forward jobs through all of these different sites. The truth is, you should be making sure that the social media world is helping you with your networking. And right now, it's going to be the primary way you can do it, particularly LinkedIn. Keys to good, effective networking online. You got to ask the right questions too. Remember, you want instructional, open-ended questions. Can you tell me more about this job? It's a little closed, right? Can you tell me more about, I saw this job posted and I listened to you talk about it last week at the meetup, or I saw you post it on your LinkedIn page and you had a little bit of an article about it. I'm very interested in that type of work. Is there a time we can talk about opportunities for someone like me? See how much more open-ended and instructional that is? Be a good listener, and right now in the digital age, that means being a good reader as well. Look for what is said, make notes. Make notes from conversations you have online. Cut and paste them into notepads or Word docs if you need to keep up with the full conversation. Always make sure you maintain good contact information with folks. And remember, timing is key. Follow up when you've engaged with someone. How do you start a conversation in the online world? Oddly enough, it's not that different than if you were doing it and walking up to someone at a booth or a table or a networking event in the physical world. I have a technique I like to recommend called fishing by reading. Find a good article or a good post that someone puts out and you say, you know what, I want to learn more about that organization, connect with that person. And then use a simple statement like, I read the article you posted about this industry trend or this type of position or this thing that your company is doing. I'd love to talk with you more about that, tell you more about what I'm doing as well. For recruiters that you're engaging with and who might be engaging with you rather actively right now, remember, just be yourself and introduce yourself the same way that you would if you were standing in front of them and giving your professional pitch. Your professional pitch can be in written form too. I'm interested in learning more about the position I saw posted. I plan on applying and I want to introduce myself. That's still a good instructional, open-ended way to ask for a connection with someone. Remember, engage, respond, and follow up. 3 keys to good conversations in the online world. So be active in engagement, always respond in a timely manner, and if someone gives you instructions of something to do or someone else to connect to, make sure you follow up as well. Your professional pitch, again, can be something that works in written form the same way that it works in spoken form. Your introduction is your name, who you are is your major and your class standing, maybe some strengths or interests that you have that are relevant to the conversation, what you have to offer. That's really, again, built around why you're going into the field you're going into, and then what you're looking for the person you're speaking to. Remember, information is what you seek. You're not asking for a job or a job interview, but you are asking about opportunities where you can talk more about what you know how to do and how that might be a good fit for the organization. Oftentimes, networking conversations will take the form where you have that conversation with someone and they say, well, we're not hiring right now. And what you can do is say, that's okay. I really appreciate your time. Are there places you recommend that I should be applying? While there are competitors, and it is a competitive world out there, a lot of industries do work well with each other, and you'll learn, as you've already figured out probably while you're in school here, that a lot of these folks work with each other throughout the years, even though they may be in competitive business situations. So never be afraid to ask someone for another networking referral, especially if you've made a good connection. And always remember, too, you can ask the person about themselves. How did you come to work for Premier? What's it like working at Allstate? Can you tell me a little bit more about your day-to-day with Enterprise? Or what do you do, or what did you do as a college student that prepared you for a career at Fastenal? Just some examples of things we've seen students do that work really well. Remember, everything you do is building your brand. And what do you want others to know about you? And if you come up with a good list, look at your online profile, look at your resume and say, am I portraying that? Maximize your best qualities. Remember, don't worry about not being everything in a job posting. Few people are every piece of job duty. What you want to show is that you're the majority of them and that you have the aptitude and the kind of initiative to overcome the parts that maybe you haven't had experience with yet. Remember, you get to create and manage your reputation. It's an active process, so everything you post, everything you engage with helps to build upon that reputation. Or conversely, it can damage it as well. Remember, your brand is very valuable. Treat it as such and manage it as best you can. So some strategies and takeaways from our presentation. Right now, it seems like a lot of things going on that you just can't control. So don't worry about it. Control what you can control, which is how you're going to engage online. Start engaging digitally with the Career Center recruiters and contacts. Answer messages you get from the above and respond in a timely fashion. Make sure your profile is up to date, details your skills, values, and experiences, and depicts who you are so employers can find you easily. And engage responsibly in all comments and responses. Be aware of how you appear to others who might be searching for you. LinkedIn, Indeed, HireNiner, and direct company websites are where you're going to find most postings nowadays. But what you should do instead of, again, just blindly posting is work your way backwards from an opportunity and say, do we have alum at that organization I can connect with? LinkedIn can be a great help with that, so can the Career Center. Do they post on HireNiner? If they do, who's the contact there? How can I reach out to them? Those are good ways and good strategies for finding job opportunities and connecting yourselves to them in this online world. Remember, when you connect on LinkedIn, do it with purpose. Use your professional pitch in written form. Don't ask for a job, ask for opportunities to discuss jobs, and then always make sure you respond in a timely and appropriate fashion. And then attend virtual networking events. Ones led by employers through the Career Center or even in offline sites are totally good ideas for you to be involved with right now as you continue to build your network and you look for opportunities in the working world. If you have questions, engage with the Career Center. Go to career.uncc.edu. From there you can see more workshops we have planned, look at some of our other information online, and also attend appointments with our career coaches. We wish you the best as you continue to build your network now more than ever.